They're out on the field. The pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beatsis is singing "Fight, Balls, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The Volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Got a big one coming up on Saturday, third Saturday in October. Tennessee versus Alabama, 3:30 CBS National Spotlight, where this rivalry belongs. Of course, we all know last year Tennessee ended the streak. Now can they go down to Tuscaloosa and get it done on the road? I look at this matchup across the board on paper, and I keep telling myself Tennessee matches up well with Alabama. You look at points per game. Alabama 30.1, Tennessee 32.3. Defensive scoring, Alabama giving up 16 a game, Tennessee giving up 17 a game. Passing yards per game, they're 7 yards apart. Passing defense, 10 yards apart. Rushing defense, almost identical. And then you look at the one big advantage for Tennessee, and that is running the football. They lead the SEC in rushing yards. I made a video earlier this week talking about the defensive line and how they're going to be able to make an impact in this game. Tennessee fourth in the country with 24 sacks, and then you flip over and look at Alabama's inability to protect Jalen Milroe. They have given up 31 sacks on the season. That's 126th in the country. They're giving up 4.43 sacks per game. When I look at it on paper, I like the matchup for Tennessee. The big problem is you've got to go on the road, and this team has struggled on the road. Can they overcome that? When you look at all the numbers right now, the ESPN FPI has Alabama at 76.5% percentage odds of winning this football game. You look at Vegas, Alabama favored by 9.5. How would you feel if this game was in Neyland Stadium instead of in Tuscaloosa? We're going to get into it. What do the experts say? What do the insiders say? They all seem to be saying Tennessee has no chance. Maybe they have a slight chance. We're going to get into it, but as always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up just below this video. It is quick, free, and it is easy. It does help this channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you here. We talk with you. We are building a community of Tennessee fans right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. You want to be a part of that, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going to be live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time for our regular Wednesday show, talking all things Tennessee versus Alabama. We'll also give our official predictions. As I sit here right now, I'm just a couple of hours away from recording Locked On Vols with Kaner. We got the evening show tonight. I still have no idea if I'm picking Tennessee or Alabama to win this game. What do you say? Jump into the comments and give me your score predictions. Are you feeling confident on this Wednesday morning? But let's get into it. Let's talk about it. This is an article from A to Z Sports. You go up here to the top, it says Paul Feinbaum gives Tennessee the perfect bulletin board material before the game against Alabama by spewing mistruths. I love it. Zach Reagan bringing the heat over at A to Z Sports. We're going to take a look at what Paul Feinbaum said, but it should come as no surprise. Whether you go to On3, you go to 247 Sports, you go to Josh Pate, you go to J.D. Piquel, wherever you go with this football game, more than likely the media is going to be rolling with Alabama. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at it. Says here there's no doubt that Alabama is going to make things personal on Saturday in Tuscaloosa against the Vols. Alabama head coach Nick Saban always tells his players, make things personal. The Crimson Tide will be looking to avenge their 52-49 loss to the Vols from last season, which was Bama's first loss to Tennessee since 2006. The Vols will need to have that same energy on Saturday against Alabama, and they received some motivation to have the energy this week via Paul Feinbaum, who is a Tennessee alum. Look, compared to the South Carolina game, right? The South Carolina game from a year ago, what game did we all have circled on our calendar? We were calling it a revenge game. We couldn't wait to get South Carolina inside of Neyland Stadium, dark mode, 7 o'clock kickoff. That stadium was electric. We had revenge on our minds. It doesn't matter what the coaches say, what the players say. It's just another game. It's just another week. We as fans brought it. We brought that energy because we had revenge on our minds against South Carolina. Now, if you don't think If you don't think that Alabama fans have been waiting for this game for an entire year, you're crazy. This is their revenge game. This is their version of our South Carolina game. Tennessee already struggles on the road. That is the big concern to me. You got to go back to early last season. I'm not counting Vanderbilt. They don't count. We're not counting that as a road win. That's a glorified home game for Tennessee. You got to go back to LSU, Kentucky on the road early last year. This team has struggled on the road. Lost to Florida this season. The loss to Georgia last year. They have struggled on the road. The loss to South Carolina. Let's go on down here and see what Paul Feinbaum had to say. Says here, Feinbaum said during an appearance on SportsCenter this week that Tennessee has a very slight chance to beat Alabama on Saturday. Here's what Paul had to say. Very slight. Matt, Tennessee just does not have any offense this year. They barely got through A&M. They needed a punt return, so they really only had 13 points offensively. This is not the same Josh Heupel team we saw last year in Knoxville when Hendon Hooker was lighting it up, explosive as anybody in the country. They have to win on defense, which causes them a lot of problems against Alabama, which has a pretty good offense. So, when you look at what Paul Feinbaum is saying here, Tennessee just doesn't have any offense. Again, I say go back and look at the numbers. Go back and look at the stats. And, yeah, we can talk about scheduling, and I understand, Alabama's played Texas. They've played Texas A&M, same as Tennessee. They played Texas A&M just the same as Tennessee did. They've played Ole Miss. You can talk about whose schedule is tougher. We're halfway into the year. We are halfway into the year. So if you want to talk about whose offense is struggling and whose offense is good, you're pointing fingers at Tennessee. They just don't have any offense this year. Well, let's go look at the numbers, Paul. Let's see what the numbers say. Passing offense, Tennessee, 212.5 yards per game. Alabama, 219.4 yards per game. If my math is correct here in East Tennessee, that's 7 yards per game more through the air for Alabama. What about the rushing attack? What about rushing yards? Alabama's offense, 148.4 yards per game on the ground. Tennessee, meanwhile, is leading the SEC in rushing at 231.3 yards per game. They are also scoring 2 more points per game than Alabama. So, Paul, if you want to talk about offense and you want to talk about struggling offenses, how is Alabama any different? Is Alabama going to be able to score? Are they going to be able to move the football? Tennessee also doing pretty good getting after the dang quarterback. So is Alabama. Alabama has 26 sacks on the country, or 26 sacks on the year, 3rd in the country. Tennessee right behind them with 24. They're 4th in the country. They've also played an extra game. So you look at sacks per game. Tennessee actually averages 4 sacks per game. Alabama 3.71. But Tennessee's done a pretty good job protecting Joe Milton. Tennessee's only given up 9 sacks on the year. Well, you say, Boogie, remember, Alabama played one more game than Tennessee. Alabama's given up 31 sacks on the year. That's 126th in the country. They are giving up 4.43 sacks per game. Tennessee only giving up 1.5 per game. So when we go by the averages, Tennessee does a pretty good job getting after the quarterback. Tennessee has more yards per game, more points per game. So whose offense are we talking about, Paul? Whose offense is struggling here, Paul? Is it Tennessee or is it Alabama? Article goes on to say, I think Feinbaum is under the Nick Saban spell that seems to afflict the majority of media members these days. Feinbaum's comments aren't even rooted in facts. Alabama has the number 83 passing offense in the country and the number 86 in total offense. Tennessee, meanwhile, is 33rd in total offense. That happens, Zach. That happens. You can be 33rd in total offense when you lead the SEC in rushing yards. He goes on to say here the numbers just don't match what Paul Feinbaum is saying, which means he's just throwing stuff out there to see what sticks. I'm not sure what Alabama team Feinbaum has watched this season, but they haven't looked like a championship contender. To be fair, neither is Tennessee, but if these teams were wearing different uniforms, that's a good point. Most folks would look at this matchup as a total toss-up game. Zach nailed it. That is exactly where I'm at. When I look at the stats, when I look at the numbers, when I look at the data, when I look at the information, I think this thing is a coin toss situation. That's why I'm sitting here a matter of hours before making my pick, and I still have no idea which direction I'm going to go. No idea. I feel like this game is truly a toss-up game. That's why the 9.5-point spread from Vegas kind of surprises me. It really kind of surprises me. So as we get closer to that decision, who's Boogie rolling with, Alabama or Tennessee? The big factor is the road. I think this is truly a toss-up game, and I think it could come down to Joe Milton. And this is the exact conversation a lot of people were having last week about Texas A&M, that Tennessee would not be able to run the football. I think they're going to be able to run the football against Alabama. But you had some missed opportunities. Texas A&M really shot themselves in the foot. Tennessee had a ton of penalties. You can't do that. You can't throw an interception in the red zone, Joe. You can't do that against Alabama and hope to come out with a win. Tennessee had opportunities, man. They had opportunities. First quarter, 4th and 2, inside the 20. Don't like the play call to roll Milton out. Also in the second quarter, you had the missed field goal. Third quarter, you were inside the Texas A&M 30. You got sacked on 4th and 6. Start of the fourth quarter, that's when Joe throws the picks. They had some opportunities against Texas A&M to really pull away in that game. Those type of mistakes will get you beat on the road against Alabama. Still haven't made up my mind, boys and girls. Still not sure at this point if I'm going Tennessee or I'm going Alabama. It is a toss-up game. The road environment is what has me on the fence. If this thing was in Neyland Stadium, I'm rolling Vols by a touchdown. But it's not. It's not. What do you think? I've still got some time to think about my decision, but what is your prediction coming up on Saturday? As always, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the official merchandise. You guys know where, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link is also in the description below. Perfect time to pick up some Buck Fama merchandise. We've also got a shirt that says Beat Bama. We've got the scoreboard merchandise from last year. Go check it out. Again, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. As always, thank you to the members of the channel. If you've got a Power T beside your name in the chat, thank you for the way that you support what we are doing. You want to be a part of it. If you like the videos, the live streams, the community aspect, whatever it is you like about this channel, you want to keep this thing rolling, you want to support what we do, hit that join button down below. You can give $1 or you can give more. It is greatly appreciated. It gives me the opportunity to quit my job working for the man and come right here and provide content for you guys every single day. But I rely on you, and I appreciate you. So if you would consider hitting that join button, I would greatly appreciate it. But if not, that's fine. Hit the thumbs up because it's quick, free, and easy. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk some Tennessee football because this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.